Welcome for this session of circuit theory, and from this session onwards in a series of lectures we will complete the remaining parts of the earlier modules and the sixth module, because the discussion which we carried till now is simple, maybe at high school scholarship level if we apply some mind and some domain principles of electrical engineering. But this now use of complex exponentials is something which has been, according to my perception, a very difficult theme which is not appropriately understood, but we find that people used to carry it away and continue without much understanding. So I will try my level best to explain it in a simple manner. I may deviate from some classical discussion, because a classical discussion not understood by anybody, and a simple discussion which may be somewhat factually deviated but understood by everybody. I think at an initial stage second approach is better. Therefore we go for the concept of complex exponentials. So I will use some time because that is important. This theme is clear. There is no point in rushing through. In today's age there is no question of scarcity of material. Everything is available to you. By using Google search you can understand each and every. Now earlier getting material was difficult. Now when syllabus is given to you, for each point in syllabus you can put Google search and get all information. So I will not be much caring about some few points remaining to be discussed. Rather than that, I will try my level best to explain this theme to such an extent to everybody that there should not be any gap. Even if after many years you are asked this question, by awakening you from deep sleep, you should be able to answer it instantly. That should be our theme. So in the last sessions we introduced something like Z, that for considering some AC circuit, but from today I will try to explain it in most simple manner. What is a complex number? The reason of imaginariness and all these things. Number one is there is nothing imaginary. There is nothing imaginary. If there are alternative ways with which same can be explained, suppose if you are on a train track, a plain train track, then a single number can tell you the distance, how much away you are, and using that single number you can locate. So when you listen, I am explaining it in a very simple manner. When your movement is restricted on a single predefined straight line, a single number will tell you the location, exact location of an individual from a reference point. मराठीत सांगतो, जिथं मुवमेंट ही एकाच रेषेवर मर्यादित असते, तिथं तुम्ही किती अंतरावर आहात एवढा एक आकडा कळला की तुमचं लोकेशन एक्झॅक्टली सांगता येतं. देयर इज वन मोर एक्सेप्शन, that is, now this is we say scalar, because there is a fixed direction, so the concept of direction is not defined. Concept of direction is not defined because the movement is restricted in one dimension. But still there is a concept of, if you are at a reference point, faced your feet on the line and faced up front. Then movement can be on both sides. So 100 meter away, a person X 100 meter away from you, when the person can move only on a horizontal line. In that case, there are still two possibilities, on this side or on this side. So on this side or on this side. So in that context, we can say that the number has to be associated. It does not remain a single number then. So in that context, distance and displacement. So 100 meter on left hand side or on right hand side. So this is called as the concept of plus or minus. In case of mass, that question is not there. So remember, I am explaining it with an attempt, with a focus that you should understand. You should not quote it to somebody who doesn't know the background. So I define that distance is a scalar. Like that, mass is also a scalar. Mass is also a scalar. Then voltage. Current is different. Voltage you must have learnt maybe in school, from high school days, but still you don't get a grip on voltage. So voltage is also a scalar. Voltage is also a scalar. Mass is a scalar and voltage is a scalar. Is there any difference in these two things when we talk about that both are scalars? Then I would like, this is for your simple understanding, don't quote it elsewhere. Mass, we can say that it's an absolute scalar, and voltage is vector like scalar, where what we mean by that? Suppose if that I have got three masses, m1, first article has got mass m1, second article has got mass m2, third has got mass m3. If their sum is to be 0, then it is possible if and only if m1, m2, m3 all are 0. If and only if m1, m2, m3 all are 0, then their sum can be 0. Whereas when I talk about voltages, three voltages, V1 plus V2 plus V3 can be 0 even if all of these or one of these is not, or one or two of these are non-zero. Plus 5, minus 3, minus 2. So, concept of sign is requiring one more expression which has got only two possibilities, plus or minus, plus or minus. So when you express distance, a real number is having infinite possibilities. Each you express using digits, that is not finite. Exact distance you can't express using finite digits. So if we say length, length is a positive real number. Lengths can't add to 0 unless all are 0. So length is a positive real number, whereas position on a line is also expressed by a single value which is having infinite resolution. You can't express it. You can't express it using digits. So infinite possibilities, you can express it by some variable which can have infinite combinations. So distance, you can say x, where x can have infinite combinations. On which side? On the right hand side or on left hand side. One you has positive, one has negative. So you need one variable which is having infinite possibilities, infinite resolution, and another variable which is a digital variable, that is plus or minus, that is called as sign. Plus or minus. That is when you are in we say one dimensional space. Even listen very carefully, I am trying my level best to explain so that you understand it. One dimensional space requires one real variable x and one digital variable plus or minus, and when we include that, so this is a number, this is a value, a number, the signed number. The concept of sign is an extension. So a mere distance is, you can perceive that length. So that can be expressed by, and now how it is expressed? 1 unit, you define unit, 1 meter, x meters. X meters means your x you can't express in bits, you can't express in digits exactly, it can take any value. So one variable, when I say variable, it can possess any value when you express it to millimeter resolution. If you are having micrometer, then micrometer resolution, and like that. So this is when you are on a single line. Whereas when you are, so what the theme is? Theme is that when we define variables, the concept is scalar, where a single number describes it completely, say length, mass and time. Length, mass and time, these are very fundamental quantities. So length is expressed completely by some value, mass is expressed completely by single value, all are positive, length can't be negative, time can't be negative. Whereas position on a line is having one value and direction. Whereas now, when we give more liberty, whereas you can move anywhere in this two-dimensional plane. If you are here, your friend is also here. You are here, your friend is also here. Earlier, movement was only restricted to this line. So when movement was restricted to this line, if you are A and your friend is B, so if your friend B goes here at some distance, or B can go here also by some distance. So you express, this is how much units and on which side. This side we define as positive, this side we define as negative. So remember, even scalar I define, don't tell it anywhere else unless they know the background, vector like scalar. ज्याला प्लस मायनस असतं, अनेक नंबर असतो, एक नंबर मध्ये प्लस मायनस येत नाही. A number, a real number which can take any value from 0 to infinity. A real number can be from infinitesimal to infinity, and associated with a sign it becomes something vector like scalar on one dimension. Whereas now you remove the restriction of movement, and what your friend can do is your friend can move freely anywhere. Suppose if your friend goes here, B. Now, what is the distance between you and your friend? that is described by the length. It is always positive. It is always, distance is always positive. Location, position, even in one direction, on one axis, distance is positive, but merely saying distance, you can't describe it completely. You have to say on this side, on this side. So one number, position is distance, which is a scalar, plus a sign when you are one dimension. So I say it is vector like scalar. I am trying my level best to explain it in such a simple language that there should not be any confusion. That's what my perception is. Despite that, if there is confusion, then we need to work more. Now, so this is the distance. Then, if it is told to you that your friend is 200 meters away from you, you are, this plane means you can say a ground, college ground, and the center of the pitch, of the cricket pitch. Center of the cricket pitch is the position where you are. Your friend was also there, and then he moves somewhere, and he is at some point which is 200 meters away from you. And let us say you are blind. Let us say for time being, blind. So if you are told that your friend is at 200 meters away from you, can you locate him? Can you locate him exactly? The answer is no, because from the origin, which is center point, which center of the pitch, from the origin, mere statement that your friend is 200 meters away is a vague or incomplete, non-specific, because there are multiple points 200 meters away from the center point, and those multiple points are on a circle of radius 200. So, to locate the friend exactly, you should specify 200 meter length and this angle anti-clockwise. So, when we say anti-clockwise angle, what is the measure of angle? Angle is arc upon radius. Complete arc is having length of 2 pi. Complete arc, if I draw at, if this is 1, if I draw a unit circle, which is very much useful in the entire discussion, if I draw a unit circle, this is 1, then angle means if this entire arc length is 2 pi, this perimeter, and radius is 1, so total angle is 2 pi. So, with respect to the total angle, it is 1, you can see by symmetry, it is quarter of that, so pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi. So, pi by 2, pi by 4, pi by 8, or you can have calculated degrees, 360, 180, 90, 45, 30, 60, like that. So, you have to specify angle, which is also having infinite resolutions. Only thing is that after 2 pi it repeats. What is the difference? Length, it can be from 0 till infinity, infinite points. Angle is value between 0 to 2 pi, again infinite points. Listen very carefully. Exact angle, remember that a finite length has got infinite points. Infinite length also has got infinite points. Infinite length has got more points than finite points. Infinities need not be equal. We will elaborate it sometime later. But right now, so distance and angle. So from me, my friend is at 200-meter distance. So I define, I stand, my origin, and I point a reference direction, that is on plus on this side. This is reference direction. So with respect to that, what is the angle? Angle is say 40 degrees. Friend is at 40 degrees and 200 meters. So to specify the position, you need two variables. This is one way. There is other way. Instead of distance from you and angle, alternative way is what this distance from this position, you plot two perpendiculars. So this is x direction, this is y direction. So x unit, so the location can be found alternatively, but explained alternatively by x and y coordinates. X and y coordinates. So to define position of a point in a two-dimensional plane with respect to a defined origin, there are two ways. One, distance and direction, and second, so for that also, to specify direction, you have to define one reference axis, which we say conveniently x-axis, and angle from that axis, and distance. Or otherwise, you define one axis, you define a perpendicular axis, and then projections of the point on both axes, x position and y position. X position, y position is Cartesian coordinate system, and angle, distance and angle is polar coordinate system. So if you are on a line, a single number can specify where you are. If you are anywhere, then you need two numbers. When I say single number is actually a combination of a number and a sign. So if we include plus minus as a part of real number, if we include plus and minus as a part of real number, then a single number, I again repeat, plus minus is to be treated separately, or plus minus to be treated separately or as a part, depends upon how you visualize it. When you are on a one line, you can be on this side or on this side, then a single number with specifying direction explains you completely. So voltage is like a variable like that. Voltage is a signed scalar variable, whereas mass does not have sign. So in a small context, I can say that voltage also has direction. Only thing is that the directions are two. For mass, direction is one. Mass, there cannot be negative theme of mass. Either there is some mass or there is no mass. Either there is some length or there is no length. Either there is some time or there is no time. There is not, if negative mass would be like anti-mass, it is not there. Voltage, yes, there is positive voltage, there is negative voltage. I hope I have tried my level best. So with this now, voltage is one dimensional. Voltage can be positive or voltage can be negative. Voltage is not two dimensional. You might have learned phasor and all that. I will explain everything very clearly. Now, how the things are arrived at, I will elaborate it sometime in the vacation, where we can meet for a detailed discussion with no restriction of syllabus coverage. So now what I would like to cover is, we discussed in previous lecture in previous sessions that j square equal to minus 1. J square equal to minus 1. So j, this is 1. J is located here. Minus 1, j minus 1 minus j. J square equal to minus 1. And when you add, what is the complex number? Complex number is nothing but an ordered pair. J is, we make use of j, the identity of j as j square equal to minus 1 for simpler handling of what we can say two-dimensional entities. There is nothing like imaginary one-dimensional space when you are on a line, two-dimensional space when you are in a plane, and there is three-dimensional space which, if now the maybe few centuries back a person is there means a person is on the ground, but now when plane is there, when you are having drones, so so if your friend is traveling in a drone, how will you specify the distance where he is? You have to specify on x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, 3 parameters you need. So it's a 3-dimensional space, 1-dimensional space, 2-dimensional space and 3-dimensional space. Then there can be 4th dimension which is beyond normal human being visualization. Let us stop there. So 1D, 2D, 3D, 1D mathematics, 1D what we can say computation, all that we are expert. For 2-dimensional things, how to have a concept of multiplication and all those things. So addition, all these things are having some what we can say difficult way of treatment, which is simplified by j square equal to minus 1. So what is a complex number? A complex number is an ordered pair of 2 signed real numbers. Complex number is an, or remember very carefully, complex number is an ordered pair of 2 signed real numbers. That is very important. And to specify the order, of numbers in ordered pair, to specify the order in the pair, we attach j to one of them and leave others separately, and j square equal to minus 1. So 2 plus 3j, what is 2 plus 3j? 2 plus 3j is equivalent, 2 plus 3j, a complex number c which is equal to 2 plus 3j is equivalent to say a point 2, 3, or a plus jb is equivalent to a point a, b. So a complex number is nothing but an attempt to represent it by in the form a plus jb by a single number which itself includes 2 signed real numbers with the order as a without j and b with j, and simply j square equal to minus 1 helps in easy handling of the things. And now there is one more which is very important, is what is e raised to j theta. E raised to j. So right now, in fact, those of you who want very serious thinking after the examination, not now, try to find out what is the magic of e raised to z theta? What is e raised to z theta? Now, e raised to z, why it comes, we will elaborate later. E raised to z theta is a point on a circle of radius 1 with an anti-clockwise angle theta. Theta is a real signed number. Theta is a real signed number. It can be any number, but after 2 pi it repeats. I will explain very appropriately. So what is e raised to z theta? So right now e raised to z theta is an alternative way of describing the angle on unit circle. So e raised to z theta defines a point. E raised to z, listen very carefully. So a very magic thing in all this is a circle of radius 1. A circle of radius. Remember, we are in 2D space. At the outset, I would like to clear, which many do have confusion. You might have studied maybe in 12th or first year that voltage like e raised to j omega t. Voltage, you might have seen somewhere, is a complex exponential. E raised to j omega t. It's a big illusion in a sense that voltage is one dimensional. Voltage can't be two dimensional. However, the magic, I will elaborate in coming sessions, is that by taking help of two hypothetical things and by using superposition theorem, we can easily analyze a simple thing. मराठीत सांगतो, कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्सपोनेन्शियल व्होल्टेज असत नाही, पण कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्सपोनेन्शियल इतकं सोपं आहे डेरिव्हेटिव्हच्या बाबतीमध्ये. ई रेस टू जे थीटा म्हणजे कॉस थीटा प्लस जे साइन थीटा, मी नंतर सांगेन. जे स्क्वेअर इक्वल टू -1 and derivative of e raised to j omega t is j omega e raised to j omega t. Because of all these things, handling becomes simpler. E raised to j omega t, you might have seen somewhere, v e raised to j omega t is the voltage. असं व्होल्टेज तयार करणारा जनरेटर अस्तित्वात नाही. व्होल्टेज टू डायमेन्शनल नाही. But it is possible that for a circuit I am giving one dimensional voltage, but analyzing it, finding answer is difficult. So what I do, I assume a hypothetical voltage 1, hypothetical voltage 2. I add these two, which is one dimensional. म्हणजे एक असलेली गोष्ट, जी गोष्टीचं ॲनालिसिस करणं मला अवघड आहे, त्या गोष्टीचे ॲनालिसिस मी कसं करतो, एक असलेली गोष्ट दोन नसलेल्या गोष्टींची बेरीज आहे असं समजतो. का समजतो? तर नसलेल्या गोष्टीचं ॲनालिसिस सोपं आहे. एक असलेली गोष्ट दोन नसलेल्या गोष्टींची बेरीज म्हणून समजायची, बेरीज आहे, तर त्या प्रत्येक नसलेल्या गोष्टीला काय होईल हे मी काढायचं, त्यांची ॲडिशन करायची. आय विल एक्सप्लेन इट विथ व्हेरी क्लिअर एक्झाम्पल. सो राईट नाव व्हॉट आय want to communicate is we are thinking on complex exponentials. What is e raised to j theta? E raised to j theta is a point. E raised to j theta is a point on a circle of radius 1 and at an angle theta from x-axis. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. So e raised to j theta is a two-dimensional number. E raised to j theta is a two-dimensional number at an angle theta in anticlockwise direction on unit circle. E raised to j theta is a point in 2D plane on a circle of radius 1 at an angle theta. So how do we represent it? We represent it in the form of this. What is this? This is cos theta. What is this? This is sin theta. So you remember two things now. One, j square equal to minus 1, and second, e raised to j theta is cos theta plus j sin theta. Cos theta plus j sin theta. Now, what would be 2e raised to j theta? 2e raised to j theta will be a point double than this, just double the radius. So, e raised to j theta is a point in unit circle. 2e raised to j theta, what is e raised to j theta? E raised to j theta is a point at an angle theta, anticlockwise unit circle. This is 2. It is same thing. You stretch it on the same direction, angle same. It is 2 e raised to j theta. So what is r e raised? What is in general r e raised to j theta? R e raised to j theta is an alternative way of expressing r cos theta plus j into r sin theta. J into r sin, or r into bracket cos theta plus j sin theta. So e raised to j theta is cos theta plus j sin theta. J square equal to minus 1. We have very simple logic henceforth. With this then, what is e raised to j omega t? What is angle is theta. Now what I say? Theta I say as e raised to j omega t, where t is real time, t is time. E raised to j omega t. What it would be? What is omega t? Omega t is position on unit circle. As t increases, it will move anticlockwise. So omega is the angular speed. What is e raised to j omega? So this is most important. What is e raised to j omega t? E raised to j omega t is a point rotating on unit circle. E raised to j omega t is a point rotating on unit circle with an angular speed of omega radians per second. Listen very carefully. E raised to j omega t is a rotate. I rub it out now. E raised to, so I explain what is complex number, I explain what is e raised to j theta, and now when I say theta equal to omega t, then theta is changing with respect to time. So e raised to j omega t at t equal to 0, where would be e raised to omega t? Here. As t increases, it will move in this direction. How? At an angular speed of omega radians per second. E raised to j omega t is a point rotating on unit circle at an angular frequency omega t. What would be r e raised to j omega t? R e raised to j omega t will be a point rotating on a circle of radius r with an angular speed of omega t. Angular speed of omega. So r e raised to j omega t, r e raised to j omega t is a rotating point on a circle of radius r at an angular speed of omega. So it is called as phasor. It is called as phasor. in electrical engineering with generators which are because of sinusoids, the concept of phasor is there, but let it be very clear that voltage is one dimensional. So when there is the rotation of armature in the electrical generator, electric voltage is produced which is depending upon the position. And if I have a rotating point, you have studied in standard 12 that if I have a rotating point on unit circle, its projection on either of the axis, either on x-axis or on y-axis, is a simple harmonic. Rotation of uniform circular motion is SHM. Rotation of uniform circular motion is simple harmonic motion, so it is sinusoidal. So projection of R e raised to j omega t, or in general projection of e raised to j omega t is on x-axis is cos omega t and on y-axis is plus j sin omega t. So R. So e raised to j omega t is cos omega t plus j sin omega t. This voltage, we can say after some time that voltage is this e raised to j omega t. Remember, this voltage doesn't exist. Now I will make you further simpler thing. Suppose if, what is the e raised to minus j omega t then? What is e raised to minus j omega t? E raised to minus j omega t is a point rotating on unit circle with an angular frequency of omega in clockwise direction. So e raised to j omega t in this direction, e raised to minus j omega t is in this direction. This is the concept of negative frequency. Negative frequency in AC is irrelevant. There is no point in that. What is important here is rotating point in clockwise direction. Now if e raised to j omega t, voltage can't be there. There is no voltage generator which can generate voltage e raised to j omega t. Voltage is one dimensional. Voltage, electrical voltage is one dimensional. But just suppose now that there is a very interesting thing, and I think with this we will move at such a rapid rate. The concept of omega t, j omega t, and then we will go for st, so that I think this is the simple most way with which I am introducing the things. Now for this, which is again our very popular circuit for me, 1 ohm, 1 farad. If I apply e raised to j omega t, what is the significance of e raised to something is that its derivative is scaling. D by dt of e raised to j omega t is something into e raised to j omega t. So d by dt is equal to j omega. D by dt of e raised to j omega t is j omega into this as it is. So derivative is multiplying, derivative is scaling, differentiation is scaling. So you make use of it for many occasions. So if I have got one voltage source V1, let us say, now it's very peculiar. You may say I am doing double speak, that on one side I say that voltage there can't be a voltage generator which can generate. Let us say V1t is equal to e raised to j omega t. Let us say what I said. I have deliberately said let us say. When I say let us say means it doesn't exist. But for time being, if we assume that there can be a two-dimensional voltage, let us see what happens. And V2t is equal to e raised to minus j omega t. Then what is V1? So V1t and V2t. Now if you add V1t and V2t, what is V1t? V1t is cos omega t plus j sin omega t. What is V2t? Cos minus omega t plus j sin minus omega t. Cos of minus omega t is omega t. So e raised to minus j omega t is cos omega t minus j sin omega t, and when both of them add, it is, I have added a voltage source 1, voltage source 2, superposition theorem. So V1t plus V2t is equal to 2 cos omega t. And yes, I can have a such signal generator whose amplitude is 2, angular frequency is omega. So if when I am finding it difficult to find the answer, how the thing will behave, because its attempt is to reduce differential equation. If I apply, this is possible, 2 cos omega t, everything is real, here everything is real, 2 cos omega t I can connect, then I will get some voltage here. Now I can assume this actual thing as a summation of two hypothetical things. Why? Because dealing मराठी सांगतो 2 cos omega t हा सिग्नल लावल्यावर याचं अनालिसिस करायचं थोडंसं अवघड आहे, अवघड म्हणजे इम्पॉसिबल नाही, पण हा 2 cos omega t हा ऍक्च्युअल सिग्नल हा ह्या दोन काल्पनिक सिग्नलची बेरीज आहे. Actual is summation of two virtual things which don't exist. Hypothetical. What is advantage? की हा सिग्नलची प्रॉपर्टी अशी आहे की उत्तर लगेच सगळं काल्पनिक but easy. So finding out answer for the output or what will be the output of this is easy to be found out if hypothetical signal is connected instead of actual signal. Then म्हणजे आपण काय करतो, अभ्यास अशा अवघड गोष्टी घेऊन बसता का नाही. So what do? We try to express difficult in simple things. म्हणजे 2 cos omega t हा खरा परंतु अनालिसिस करायला अवघड असणारा व्होल्टेज सोर्स हा दोन खोट्या परंतु अनालिसिस करायला सोप्या असणाऱ्या व्होल्टेज सोर्सची बेरीज आहे असं मी समजतो. सुपरपोजिशन थिअरम वापरून एक व्होल्टेज सोर्स असला आउटपुट काय येईल ते काढतो, नंतर दुसरं व्होल्टेज सोर्स असला आउटपुट काय येईल ते काढतो, आणि ऍक्च्युअल आउटपुट काय येईल तर ते या दोनदा ज्या काढलेल्या आहे त्याची बेरीज येईल. सो आय complete the things. This is for, I will explain it in detail next session, but further that you will also come to know a new thing of this is e raised to the omega t. In very early discussion we have seen a real number, so e raised to at when a is real. So what that would be? If a is positive it would be like this, if a is negative it would be like this. So instead of a, I will now define sigma. So e raised to sigma t. E raised to sigma t. Now what I do? This is e. What is e raised to j omega t? E raised to j omega t is a point rotating on unit circle. E raised to j omega t is a point rotating on unit circle. What is e raised to sigma t? E raised to sigma t is either shrinking or expanding if sigma is positive, expanding if sigma is negative, shrinking. Then what will happen if I multiply this by this? This I can write as e raised to sigma plus j omega t. So what will happen? At t equal to 0, I will be here. At t equal to I will be here. If sigma is 0, it will be e raised to j omega t. So on this circle. If sigma is positive, I will rotate, but while rotating, I will expand. So helical shape, rotating and expanding, e raised to sigma plus j omega t. If sigma is negative, rotating and contracting. Then the sigma plus j omega is called as a complex variable S. So a complex variable S. So edge. Complex exponential. e raised to j omega t is e raised to sigma t is real exponential. E raised to j omega t is imaginary exponential, and e raised to sigma plus j omega t, where sigma plus j omega is equal to s, e raised to st is a complex exponential which is either expanding or contracting and rotating point, which includes all the thing in the world. And again the important property is, what is derivative of e raised to st? S e raised to st. So derivative is scaling. So d for signal e raised to st, for signal e raised to st, d by dt is s e raised to st. Most important thing is voltage e raised to st can't be there, but we can assume, and we can assume something which is real as summation of two hypothetical and work. We will go into details in the next lecture. Thank you.